It was mid-2015. Don Phillips embarked on an ambitious undertaking. Fed up with faked and overhyped ghost shows, he decided to make his own show that was both honest and transparent, one that would inject some credibility into the field of televised paranormal investigation. Much can be learned if we cut through all the rubbish out there, he says. The subject should be one taken seriously, not something to ridicule and dismiss. Far too many people are under the heading of paranormal researchers but do little by the way of modern-day research, but instead use old research to regurgitate the same old, writing books based on the research of the early pioneers. Phenomena Project, a show that breaks the mold, one that viewers could believe everything they were watching was genuine. Furthermore, Don invited parapsychologists to be part of it to validate his evidence, which he seems to produce with little effort. They remain quite baffled. To date, Don has displayed a new revealed ability in demonstrating contact with interdimensional beings, or spirits, as he would term them. Despite controlled test procedures under what should be impossible odds, the phenomena remains a constant. Parapsychologist Steve Mira says we have never had replicatable results to test such as Don supplies in over 100 years of research. Mainstream science should be taking a look at Don Phillips. The Phenomena Project consists of live investigations, strict analysis of the evidence without the hype and fakery associated with many TV ghost-type shows. Finally, something real. Phenomena Project will be pitched to broadcasters towards the end of 2016. Where and how did it all begin? The following footage comprised of clips and testimonials of those lucky enough to work with Don prior to the project and includes Steve Mira's first night out with Don on location. Reluctant to call them spirits, Steve says, even me, myself, has sought validation from other professionals in the field who concur there is absolutely no doubt that Don Phillips is in real-time communications with someone or something and has displayed other abilities for which I have no explanation currently. In 33 years I've never witnessed anything like it. Don is a catalyst with some kind of what appears to be special connection with these entity-type beings wherever we travel to or investigate. Don is currently seeking any mainstream scientist to assist with further developments within the Phenomena Project. For further details about the Phenomena Project, please visit www.phenomenaproject.tv. Email info@phenomenaproject.tv.
Don Phillips' reputation and following is growing fast, gathering attention both within and outside the UK, within the paranormal research circles and communities. Inexplicable events coupled with their uncanny frequency under the ever-watchful eye of Steve Mira are helping Don Phillips become possibly one of the most significant names among paranormal researchers this century. Nick Lockley, journalist for the Mirror Group, asked to join Don Phillips on one of his investigations.
I came here with a totally open mind, I did, and Don's right, there was a degree of scepticism. What I can say is things have happened that I can't explain. I'm hoping when everything's put together that more sense can be made. One thing that I will endorse now is Don has been absolutely open to the point of a fault. There certainly is nothing going on here.
So this is Rob Young, who's joined us at Mill Street Barracks, and another parapsychologist, a fellow parapsychologist. It's nice to have another gentleman here. And Rob, what do you think? This is the first time, obviously, you've been out to Mill Street Barracks. I don't think you've been here to this location before.
No, I haven't, never been before.
First time out, you've witnessed Don. You've seen what he's doing with the recording devices. Yeah. What's your take on it?
Well, after observing Don, it's the first time I've ever seen a person get instant responses, audio-wise. I've been looking what he's doing with his hands, I've been doing what he's been doing recordings. I know the outside conditions are not very good. He said he works off atmospherics and different conditions. He's got to work in the right conditions. And to be quite honest with you, I'm baffled in some respects because I've never seen anyone get so many consistent recordings after asking a question.
Well, there's that consistency there, isn't there? I mean, it's not the matter that he's picking things up, but it's the consistency of him picking things up on his recording devices, and it doesn't seem to work with anybody else, so that's what's really intriguing, isn't it?
No, it is, yeah, and to be honest, I've been to locations before, I've done my own recordings, and I've come away with absolutely nothing after analysing hours and hours of audio footage. But after meeting Don for the first time and seeing what he's been doing with recorders, I'm quite baffled in some respects.
It is, yeah, and of course it only sets to get better, you know, so we'll carry on with the investigation and see what we obtain from the location.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
You know, we can make some words out of it that we do understand. Human and vocal.
The one thing that isn't in doubt is that voices have been captured. That is a fact, and that is a fact that our readers will hear for themselves.
Heading down to meet with Don Phillips during the investigation. We've got quite a long drive ahead of us. Looking forward to it. It's going to be certainly a little bit different, this. Rarely am I involved with just paranormal investigation. I'm usually going in there to rationalise experiences as best I possibly can, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing this time. Meeting up with Don Phillips, and together we're going to try and solve a couple of the mysteries that have been baffling science for a long, long time. And that is, does paranormal phenomena exist, and can we find evidence to suggest it's real?
Well, that was the strangest thing yet. I said my goodbyes. Don asked if anybody wanted to say farewell, play the recording. Well, I won't spoil it for you. I'll let Don play it now. This was the results.
It's like two voices.
Yeah, that is two
That's
voices.
two voices. Goodbye and good night, definitely.
I definitely could hear the words good night and goodbye. I mean, I'm just as perplexed as I was. Sort the words, and that doesn't happen very often, but as you can well imagine, it's a bit perplexing, and I have no explanation for it at this time.
Don was asked to investigate a converted barn by one of his clients who was reporting paranormal disturbances, and once again the evidence was overwhelming and inexplicable.
Okay, so earlier you heard a few voices. We heard from Andrew, we heard from Aggie, or it could have been Maggie. We also heard that Darryl not only fears for his own safety, but also that of his family. This is the kind of effects and emotional trauma that people go through when they're experiencing a genuine haunting. In a few moments, I'm going to put the lights out, speak to some spirits, and see if we can do what we're here to do and actually get some real answers.
Reverend Lionel Fanthorpe is also convinced of Don's effectiveness, having studied the field for more than 50 years and being a former president of the Association for the Scientific Study of Anomalous Phenomena.
Don certainly seems to have a unique ability in this area, and having, as I said, worked with many psychic mediums over many years, I'm sure that what he is doing is absolutely honest, and I look forward to investigating his communications as well as whatever entities he may be communicating with.
ITV Studios requested assistance from Don Phillips after a member of staff reported seeing an apparition.
Still roams these very corridors. I've been sent to gather evidence. Script supervisor Mel Whiffin claims to have once seen Norman one evening.
As I was dropping the scripts off into the hub one night, I sort of noticed a presence, but this was a bit more, it was like a shadowy figure sweeping. It really unnerved me.
But I wasn't alone. Well, I'm very open-minded, so I'm ready to feel or hear or see something. But at the minute, it doesn't feel right. I think for Norman to present himself...
They wanted a VT for their Paranormal Week, but what they did get was far more than they envisaged.
I mean, no one's there. Well, at least we know he's there, which is great. It scares me a little bit, it freaks me out. It's because we've been talking about Norman, I suppose. And
I can hear. I'm in the
that would be a big
car.
coincidence.
then there's
It
a
says
word,
Norman
and then
you
I
know,
hear
we're looking
there.
for Norman.
I can't
Well,
hear.
So that's why. If it said a different name, I wouldn't.
Yeah, but that's the most
and also,
prominent name in
he's
that
here.
sentence.
I don't know, that's quite scary, isn't it? Somebody's there, in there.
I'll do it again.
I wouldn't walk into there on my own.
Tom just said that someone poked him in the eye just now, which is why I had to walk away.
It did feel like it, yeah, but I'm sure.
So no pictures? No, this is really unusual. Just speaking to the guys that were behind the cameras, for the camera to lose all footage without anyone really touching it is really unusual. It's a very rare thing to happen. What did happen is the editing equipment that's used to obviously make this VT that everyone just saw, half of it, they both crashed simultaneously. And again, that's another really rare thing to happen, but they both crashed.
In this clip, taken from an episode currently being filmed for Phenomena Project, Don reveals something rather interesting.
That when you hold the tube, you cannot influence the movement of the rods. So I can turn my hand and it doesn't turn the rod.
I can't influence them because my hands are in the tubes, they're not touching the wires.
Oh, jeez.
These experiments continue. Even Kevin Moore of The Moore Show couldn't escape Becky, who Don claims to be his closest spirit ally. When at Don's request, she replies, "Hello, Kevin."
So, Kevin, what's he just done?
Well, he's just recorded something on this on the dictator, and I believe it says "Hello, Kevin." Oh my God, I can really hear that. You're bugging me backwards.
Sideways. I'd rather not.
Don's reputation spread. It caught the attention of Ben Emlyn-Jones, who was promptly invited along to a public session. Marie Chamberlain describes to Ben her first experience of working alongside Don.
Black Lion in Northampton. It was about 2, 3 in the morning. I can't remember now. We've been up a long time, and it was just me and Don in the whole building. And this is the first time I heard of Becky, and I heard a complete conversation between Becky and Don. Absolutely gobsmacked I was.
Now, what we did was Don played the recordings. He did some of these recordings, which is EVP or AVP, actual voice phenomena, he calls it. Some of them were extremely impressive, including one particular one in which you hear a number of men singing, like a male voice choir, and there's another one in which you hear several young boys, sounds like young boys anyway, talking loudly and very clearly indeed. That's the most incredible thing. Extremely impressive. And I was actually there when that was recorded, and I can assure you there were no noises, no sounds coming in at all at that time. We were all sitting there quietly while Don was pressing the record button.
Renowned parapsychologist Steve Mirror's first encounter on location with Don also left him with more questions than answers.
First carried out over 100 years ago. What's really going to be interesting is that not only going to ask Don to see if he can find out any information pertaining to what the items are in hidden envelopes, you know, so he won't be able to see the images inside them. But he's also going to have to, he's going to be challenged with 3 different envelopes. So he's going to have to pick one envelope out of the 3 and also get that right. And what's also interesting is that Don hasn't got a clue we're going to be doing this experiment. Yeah, he's going to need all the help he can get. Let's just say that. He was listening to what he believes is some type of communication from the spirits, and of course what's happened, the result of that is that Don not only picked out the right envelope, he also picked out the correct item that was in it. Well, you know, it was an extremely difficult test because I didn't just bring one envelope, I bought 3.
You've picked one envelope from the three, and not only you picked the right envelope, it's also the right picture in that envelope as well. So statistically speaking, I couldn't even calculate that. It's phenomenal, it really is. And that was quite remarkable, and the results were, as far as I'm concerned, quite amazing. And the experiment was conducted, witnessed by third hand, and I don't know how to explain that. We're going to have to obviously conduct more tests. And all in all, with the photographs that we've got and the video footage and the strange things that have been going on at this location, it's become quite mind-boggling.
The truth is coming.